Hello guys and welcome to this Midjourney prompt crafting tutorial. So if you are actually looking for a video to just get introduced to Midjourney, probably Midjourney and Discord, how you can log in and stuff, the very basics, I've already made a previous video on that. So go ahead and check it out. I will be giving the link on top. Right now, this video is going to be mainly focused on the different types of prompts that you can write to go ahead and generate a great image in Midjourney. So we'll be more focusing on the contents of a prompt, or rather the anatomy of a prompt. Before that, let's see some of the main images in our community feeds. So if you go to Midjourney, this is the tab where you need to come. It's called the community feed, and under the community feed you'll be able to see the great the arts that your fellow artists are generating. So as you can see, this is just marvelous. You'll be having lot of mind-boggling images over here, right? So these are simply superb. Now how can you go ahead and find the prompts? Obviously, if you hover around, you'll be able to see the prompts, and these are the three dots where you just click and you'll be able to see the copy command. So copy prompt, you can go ahead and see the prompt, as well as there is something called as job ID, which you can go ahead and copy very easily. But we'll try to stick this particular tutorial just to our prompts, because we want to learn the prompts and the prompt crafting. So what are the essentials of a prompt? What is the anatomy of a prompt, as I was telling you? So for example, if you see this particular Wolverine portrait style of image, what is the prompt that the user is trying to tell? So each and every image will be having a particular subject, right? And the subject would be followed by a by the surroundings that surround that particular subject. So after the subject will be the surroundings, which you need to elaborate, and after that you'll be having the styles, and ultimately there will be something called as parameter. Now let me be very clear on this, because although you're going to give the anatomy of a prompt in these four different styles that I told you, but it's not a mandate that you need to do this. Okay, so sometimes what will happen, you will see a beautiful picture just by giving let's say 3 to 4 prompts, and sometimes it may happen that you will write a very descriptive prompt and you will try to fill in everything, all the integrate details, but then also maybe you will be having just an average image. You will not be actually having the one that you wanted. So remember one thing, that if you have any particular image in your mind and you want Midjourney to actually generate it, let me tell you, 80% of the time it is not going to be possible, because the engine behind Midjourney, the AI engine behind Midjourney, it will be generating something different than what you are thinking, right? So it may not be accurate, but let me tell you this, that Midjourney is one of the best AI engines out there. So you can just go ahead, it will give you choices, and then you need to select the best image out of the choices that it gives you and try to enhance it. So that is the workflow, that is the algorithm that you need to follow in Midjourney. Coming back to the prompt, let's see what Wolverine is going to try to tell us over here. So you see, let me just copy this prompt, and probably we can go ahead and paste this out in a WordPad. Okay, so I've already pasted this Wolverine prompt over here. So let us go ahead and try to see. Let me zoom this a bit. Okay, and now let us try to see the prompt. Okay, so the prompt is saying highly stylized portrait of Logan Wolverine Weapon X, right? So this is the first thing which is going to describe the subject. Okay, then you are going to tell what is the kind of painting that you require, right? So the forest background, ink brushed, right? So this is something known as the surroundings. So the subject will be followed by the surroundings, right? And then you will be having the style. What sort of style you need high contrast, you need studio lighting, you need ultra detailed, right? These are the style. Parameters over here, it is not given, but parameters are like optional, which you can give. For example, aspect ratio is a parameter, test is a parameter. We'll be will be seeing these things in detail after some time, right? So to actually, if you go ahead and study some other pictures as well, so let's go ahead and see this one. So if I just go ahead and copy the prompt of this particular thing, and now if I try to paste the prompt over here, right? So look, it says realistic portrait of one person, perfect mix of. Now it's going to give Jennifer plus Hayden, right? So these are two persons and they are a mix. So we are going to give a plus sign in between. Now plus sign sometimes might be okay, but most of the times we try to avoid it. Now you might have seen a very famous image, like if you want a image, let's say, of Elon Musk along with Jeff Bezos, right? So you say Elon Musk plus Jeff Bezos, right? So you can give like that, perfect mix of Elon Musk plus Jeff Bezos. So you'll get an image which it will try to give, let's say, 50% of that particular Elon Musk and 50% of Jeff Bezos, right? It will try to go ahead and give that. And by the way, there is something called as a weightage, which is like colon colon. And if you want the, let's say you want the image to look more like Elon Musk, 80% like Elon Musk, right? And only 20% like Jeff Bezos, you can do those things through weightage as well. Now this is the face, right? So this is basically going to describe your subject, and after that you see this edge lighting, close sort, HD, right? So we are going to see the surroundings and followed by the style, what kind of style you need, right? So let us see one more image, cute cyborg kitten with metal and wires body. So it is not only a kitten, but it is a cute cyborg kitten, and with what, with metals and wires body, right? So you are describing the subject very nicely in the first sentence itself, in the beginning of the prompt itself, right? So you see any of the prompts, it will be having mostly this particular composition, but it's not a mandate, again I'm telling you, right? So for example, this one, Fox logo with awesome light. Now this is a very simple prompt, guys, right? And how did AI come up with this magnificent logo, right? It did something on its own. So it's not that you're always going to follow that, but this is what it is generally followed in Midjourney, and to get awesome outcomes. Okay, so as we are already seen these images, let us go ahead and now see some of the useful guides. So the most useful guide, obviously I'll recommend you, is the user manual. I'll be giving all the links to whatever documentation I'm going to share with you right now. So the quick start guide is one of the best guides that you can have in Midjourney, right? It will tell you what you need to do if you, in case you are a newbie, because I'm assuming that this particular tutorial will be for newbies as well as for intermediate ones. Okay, so the newbies is this, right? So you can go to the Midjourney server, and what you need to write as the prompt, you have to use the /imagine command, right? So this is the command, and you can type in something like an abstract field of flowers, right? And you can just press on enter. What the Midjourney AI is going to try to do for you is it's going to try and render beautiful images of the request that you have given. So, and it is going to give you particular four different images. These are called quadrants. This is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. You'll be having four different images. Now it will depend on you what is that particular image which is more closer to your imagination, right? And you will select that one, and you will try to something called as upscaling. So you will try to upscale that particular image, right? So these are variations. So this you will get as V1, V2, V3, and V4, and then U1, U2, U3, and U4. So U1s are for upscaling, and V's are for your variations, right? So you can go ahead and have a quick look into the documentation. Okay, so this is the quick start guide. After that, you have the user manual. In the user manual, obviously you'll be having more detailed ones. So if it's you are just a beginner, don't get overwhelmed by all these things. Okay, just try to have fun, guys, because Midjourney is all about having fun, right? So you do not get too much stressed with seeing the integrated details. If I go to stylize value, and some of you may say, oh my god, what are these things, stylized 625, 1250, 2500. Do not get bogged by all these things, okay? Whatever, just skim through the documentation, do not get in too much, because there are so many details that you might get lost into this, right? So let AI uh, try to do something on its own. So for that, we will be coming to the parameters where you can give hyphen hyphen test, or hyphen hyphen creative, and let the AI engine take care of these things. But however, if you want, if you're someone who is a nerdy guy who wants to see the integrate details, then you can go ahead and have a look at the documentation that's given over here, right? If you are worried about billing and licensing, then we also have the billing and licensing part over here to help you in under the resources. Okay, and if you want to subscribe to Midjourney, because you're only going to get 25 images on the free trial. After your free version has expired, you need to just type in this command /subscribe, and automatically you will be redirected to this particular page where you can go ahead and subscribe to their $10 per month or $30 the standard. This is the plan details. You can go ahead and see. We do not have the time to go through all the Midjourney documentation, because as I told you, it's going to be huge. So this is one of the resource that you can go ahead and obviously leverage before you go ahead and start building your prompts. The second most important thing is this particular Google Docs, because we are going to be more focused on the prompts and the prompts tutorial in this particular video. So as I was mentioning, there are 4 different criterias or the anatomy of the prompt. The first being the subject, then the surroundings, then the stylizations, and lastly the parameters, right? So you have to go ahead. Let's take a quick look at the subject over here. A botanical bearded fairy prince, flowing hair, right? Look at this, flowing hair. And then sometimes you can give a comma also, right? So what kind of hair? It's a flowing hair, right? And then there is sky eyes, symmetrical. All these things are going to give the attributes of a subject. It's going to define a subject into further details. Now let's come to the surroundings, like what kind of atmosphere, the twilight, magical details, right? So this is the middle bit, which describes the kind of surroundings that you want the subject to be surrounded by, right? That is what the mid bits are all about. Thirdly is the stylization. So let's say you want a particular artist, Alisa Monks over here, and so you go ahead and give by. So this is by art germ, right? Alisa Monk studio, Ghibli close up. What kind of artist and stylization do you need, right? So that is the last bits, and your parameters will be your end bit, because this 9:16 is generally the aspect ratio, right, which you generally see. It can also, instead of aspect, you can write //AR. That is also going to work fine, right? So all these things constitute a prompt. I'll be giving the link to this particular Google documentation as well for your reference. So go ahead and explore as much as you can. Have fun, as I told you, with Midjourney. It's a great tool, okay, to generate great images. Now, one of the most important things over here is, do not try to write a big sentence, okay? So for example, over here it says use adjective noun words order to replace prepositional phrases. What does it mean? Let's say you want to describe a flowing hair, so you do not say hair flowing in the wind, right? No prepositions like in and stuffs. Try to avoid that. What you want to give is shorter adjective noun. What kind of hair? Flowing hair, right? So it's an adjective and this is a noun. So instead of writing hair flowing in the wind, we will try to just say flowing hair, right? So this is one of the tips of prompt writing as well. Be very specific, right? A girl with some cake. No, do not tell some. Okay, we say a girl eating a cake. That is more like it. Okay, so these are the kind of sentences, that specific verbs that you should be giving in, right? Do not say a girl in a forest sleeping. A forest shelters a sleeping girl, right? Use very specific vocabulary to replace prepositional phrases. So these are the kind of things that you need to keep in mind if you want to go through the detailed path. Else obviously you can go ahead and experiment and you will learn a lot, right? Try to reduce the redundancy. Black obsidian, no, obsidian is already black, right? So botanical plants, no, you do not say botanical plants, right? Botanicals are already plants. So try to reduce the redundancy as well. uh, Lastly, increase the specificity at every opportunity, right? So go ahead and see what it actually means. For example, wearing a yellow hat with a light, right? A fireman. So you do not say wearing glasses and carrying an apple. A school teacher. So be very specific at every opportunity, right? Do not try to describe a vague subject. Try to be very specific for that matter. So I'll be giving this particular link as well. You can go ahead and have a quick look at the Google documentation. We are almost done with the manual and the documentation. Now coming to another important part, which is your Midjourney styles and keyword reference, right? So this guy has particularly one of the members, Will Wolfken. Okay, he has created this particular Midjourney styles and keyword reference, and let me tell you, this is awesome. For someone who is new to Midjourney or even advanced level or intermediate level in Midjourney, they can go ahead and have a quick look at this. So if I go to the home page, I'll be giving the link to the entire thing. He is giving the sponsors and submitting ideas and pulling requests. You can go ahead and ignore that. What's more important is you can go ahead and have a look at the prompt writing, right? What kind of prompt formatting is done in Midjourney, and the text in image and the keyword weight. As I was telling you, you need 80% of Elon Musk and 20% of, let's say, Jeff Bezos, and all those comparisons. You can go ahead and see the prompt writing and the prompt parameters. So you can go ahead and explore this by your own, because it's going to be huge, right? No need to go into very much integrate details. You can just skim it through. The most important thing that I would like to highlight over here is coming down to the styles. So styles is having a lot of things, right? It has themes, it has design styles, and now it has artists, and it has materials. What kind of lighting do you need? What kind of cinematic effects do you need? The SFX, the perspective, the camera, the geometry, all these things are there. So let me just go ahead and try to now tell you what is the main difference. Now you will be having a lot of prompts, right? So I have just copied some of the prompts of phrases: cinematic, lighting, mystical, smoke, fantasy, right? Disney, right? So euphoric, magnetic, concept art, sunny day, right? So fantasy, ethereal skies. So you might be getting a bit overwhelmed to actually go ahead and use this. When you are going to use this, and what does these prompts actually signify? So what you can do is, this is a great place which will give you more clarity on the kind of design styles that you can use. So if I go to design styles, and by the way, we are going to use the Midjourney V3. Okay, click on just the style, not the sphere. We are more interested in showing what are the style patterns. So go to simplicity and complexity, and you'll be able to see different images, and these are the words that we are going to use in our prompts, right? So you might see someone using the prompt simple versus some simplicity. What is the difference, right? So the detailed has been given in these sort of pictures which the AI understands. Someone might be telling detailed and someone might be telling hyper detailed. So what is the difference? So hyper detailed is like a more more details you're going to see for a particular picture, right? So you can go ahead and explore these wordings that you're going to give in the prompts. You'll be having chaotic, you'll be using a lot. You'll be seeing guys using chaotic a lot, right? So this is the difference between chaotic and confusing, right? So this guy has done a wonderful attempt to distinguish what particular prompts that we are using and what are the AI interpretation of that particular prompt, right? So for example, integrate, right? So it really gives the integrate details, like you have different veins flowing in whatever this is, so it is going to give you the details. That's what it's trying to signify, right? Yeah, that's about it. So just have a quick look at the design styles as well. And there are lot of things. Do not get overwhelmed. I'm telling you again and again, just enjoy Midjourney a lot. There is nothing, no one is putting a gun to your head and asking you to read all these things, right? But if you are interested in understanding why your image is not, behaving the way that you actually intend it to, and by the way, I told you that 80% of the times maybe it won't behave the way that you want it to. So why is that happening? Why is the variance? What is the way, what is the reason why you're getting the image? Because of the prompts that you have given, right? Let's say you're giving elegant instead of elegance, and this is the difference, sort of difference that you're going to find. So beauty, it's going to describe one particular person, right? Beauty of one particular person, right? But beautiful might be a person as well as a landscape, right? So these are the sort of differences that you can go ahead and find in this beautiful documentation. So I request you to go ahead and see this, skim it through. Do not go to the integrate details, but just have a look and feel of what the styles are. Similarly, if I go back to the home page, there is something called as themes. So themes are also very important. You can go to themes under styles and see what sort of themes that we are using. Some So again, there are different sort of categories to the theme. You have realism, retro, sci-fi, outer space, depending on the type of prompt that you need. If you want to go ahead and do something for the countries, urban, right? So let me just go ahead and explore this country, nation, right? So if you are interested in Canadian realism, so this is the sort of things based on a particular country. You can go ahead and give your prompts if you are going to give it based on a particular country. If you are more interested in sci-fi, then let's have a look at the sci-fi images. So someone gives terrestrial versus extraterrestrial. What is the difference, right? How is the AI engine going to interpret it? So these are all given over here. Magic, the word magic versus magical. So this is the AI interpretation, as you can see, right? Similarly, mystic versus mystical. So you can go ahead and have a quick look at all these things, right? So there are different themes as well, which is given over here. So I'll go back to the home page. I missed one thing, so let me go ahead and show you that particular thing as well. There will be something called as colors. So some of you might be more interested in colors. So these are the colors that you can go ahead and specify as well, and the AI engine will try to keep it somewhat similar to what you are right now seeing in your screen. So you'll be having the color section, which is very important as well. This is very recent introduction to the punk style as well, right? So these are the punk styles. So let me just go ahead and change this from the sphere to just the style. Scroll down, go to punk styles. So these are the punk styles that you can see. So let's say you want something called as you want a particular character, right? Let's say Gandalf, and you want a cyberpunk Gandalf, so you can do that as well. Cyberpunk, and then you type space and then Gandalf, your main character, and then Gandalf will be amalgamated in the cyberpunk style, and I will try to show you a cyberpunk Gandalf, maybe with goggles. Okay, so these are the different sort of images. One more thing is the lighting. So if you go to the lighting and just type in just the style, let us see what kind of lights that we can use in our prompt. This is a spotlight versus a floodlight, right? Front light, back light, rim lighting, like a strobe, a bubble light, a dim light, all these kind of lighting effects can be given, right? Crepuscular rays, which is like very godly, that sort of rays can also be given, versus the artificial lighting and the natural lighting. So these, once you give this prompt, AI will automatically try to render your image based on these particular images that you are seeing, right? And if you are not, if you do not want that, you need to change the type of light or your image prompt. So this is going to help you a lot, right? So yeah, shadows. So one more important thing is the shadows. If you want to experiment with the shadows, right? Look, obviously if you give shadow as singular versus shadows as plural, you can see the effect over here, right? So be very careful on the whatever you give in your prompt. That's about it from my end for the technical part, or the boring part rather, without having fun. Okay. And yes, so I'll be giving the link to all these things, right? And you can go ahead and play with all these things and see what sort of image you can generate. Lastly, if even if with all this help you are having a lot of problems in prompt generation, there are some tools. For example, this is a tool called fraser.tech/landing. I'll be giving the link in the description. You can try this for free. It has some, okay, click on try for free, and then you have to choose your neural network if you're Midjourney or DALL-E. So in my case I'm in Midjourney, so choose Midjourney, and then it will tell you what is the kind of photo that you want, right? So if I need, let's say, a 3D rendered or a drawing or a picture, I'll click on that particular thing which I want, right? And describe the object that you want to generate. So I will say cyberpunk Gandalf, right? It's not able to recognize. I'll say cyberpunk Angelina Jolie. Sorry, that's a spelling mistake. But it, okay. I'll say next. What is the style that you want to get it in, right? So let's say I want Leonardo da Vinci style. So I will select Leonardo da Vinci, and then what is the color of the result that you want? So I will say I need something in multicolor, right? And lastly, what is the texture? So I say that I need it in some, this particular plaster. Medium would be 4K ultra high. What feeling should we express? So I say inspiration. In what era are you creating this? I say future. And then obviously if you have not logged in, you have to give the login details. Okay, once I have done the sign in, this is the automatic prompt that has been generated. Multicolor picture made of plaster texture of cyberpunk Angelina Jolie by Leonardo da Vinci, created at full in 4K ultra high resolution with feeling of inspiration. Right, so you can go ahead, copy the text and paste the same in Midjourney. If you are not happy, you can go ahead and start again as well. You go ahead and get yourself familiar with Midjourney and happy AI. If you like my videos, do not forget to like and subscribe, and also if you're having any comments, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer them. So have a nice day. Bye bye.